morning, love. It's going to be a great day and a great week. I'm your host, Ariel Chanel. We are back with another episode. I say it all the time. It's my favorite day of the week, and that is the truth. I love being here, just talking with you all, talking with the different people that we've had on. This is now our third week in our Love Month series where we're just sharing love with people that I believe are amazing, awesome, wonderful people. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode with David. I know afterwards we talked and he's so excited to come back and just hang out with you guys again another day. So look forward to that in the future. But we are here another week and I have another guest for you all. But before we get into who the guest is for today, we start every week with gratitude, and this is no different than then. So I am grateful this week for people that come and walk beside you and help in life. It's always important to have someone, I believe, that is there because we're not meant to do life by ourselves. We're not meant to do this thing alone. We all have blind spots. We've talked about it in episodes before. And for me, having people in my life that have been there, that have walked beside me and come along and encouraged me and kind of kicked me in the butt when I need to be kicked in the butt, all those different things is very important to me, and I'm grateful. And with that being said, I get to introduce to you all one of the people that has walked beside me, who has been here for me through this whole journey of everything Ariel Chanel, pretty much through just my journey in life in my maturing years. And I'm so grateful for her. She is a pastor, a life coach, a sister, a sports fan, all these different things, but you'll hear more about it as we talk about her. She is none other than Lorraine Thornhill, and I want to give her a moment to just introduce herself in her own way.
Well, good afternoon, Ariel.
Good
It's good to
afternoon.
be here with you today on it should be good morning, love.
Yes.
So, it's great to be here. What do you want me to say about myself, Ariel? I'm a daughter, sister, an aunt, a friend, and a pastor. Usually at times I start with on the pastor and go back. But today I'm starting with I'm a daughter.
Nice. That's good. That's a good place to start with I'm a daughter. And I'm glad that you did that and you started with everything before pastor. Because with you being a pastor, for those who do not know, she is my pastor for the church that I attend, Kingdom Empowerment Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts. However, that's what people usually look at with pastors. And I've noticed a lot that it's very unfair to you all, that it's kind of like you get put in this like untouchable box and everything else that you are gets erased. And once you get the title of pastor, it's like that's now your life. And so nothing else matters. It doesn't matter that you're a daughter, and it doesn't matter about anything else that you did, because just that's all you are. You're a pastor. You wake up praying, you go to sleep speaking in tongues. Like that's what people think, and that's not true. So let's go back and let's talk about a few of those things. And I want you to tell the people about, let's go back to young Lorraine and growing up, and what was life like for young Lorraine, and you know, what did you like, what did you do? Just tell us a little bit about your
I
childhood.
can't even remember, that seems so long ago, Ariel, like young Lorraine. Oh my goodness. um, be honest with you, I really spent a lot of my time, I had friends, but I was an introvert. So very much spent time with Lorraine, by myself. I loved doing puzzles, jigsaw puzzles. So I would, every Christmas, birthday, just any, I would tell my family, my parents, my siblings, they would get me puzzles. It started off small, then it was like 2000, and then it was like, oh, Lorraine, you need to get, they started Um, my brothers started making me these boards where I could then figure out. Then I figured out how to glue my puzzles together so they were pictures and everything else. Yeah, they were 2,000, 2,500 pieces, 5,000. I love doing jigsaw puzzles. I loved reading mysteries. So yeah, that's what I really was into a lot, more so than anything. It wasn't like I was, hanging out at people's homes. Our parents didn't allow some of that stuff back then anyway. You couldn't, sleepovers, it had to be family members and not every family member. Even I'm trying to remember, did I have a sleepover even at a family? My parents didn't go for all that, you know. Um, so yeah, but that's what I really was into. I was into puzzles and reading and doing schoolwork.
Puzzles, reading, and doing schoolwork. It's interesting that you said doing schoolwork. Usually people don't say that. Like that you like doing schoolwork.
I didn't say that now.
Or well,
I said I did it. That's what I was doing. I didn't say I liked it now.
okay. See,
let's correct that.
clarification. That's a good thing.
Yes, it's a good thing. I loved math. I could do math morning, noon, and night. I loved math, but other than that, school, take it or leave it.
so you were an introvert. You like to do your puzzles. You like to read your mystery books when you were younger, and then, like most people, you got older and went off to college, like most. What was that like for you? That experience of
Oh God. When I first went off to college, it was rough because um in some ways I didn't know what I wanted to do, but it was like you have to go to school, you have to go to college. And I went off to do electrical engineering because I didn't know what to do. I was talking with a cousin. Oh, you love math. Okay, let me show you what I do. Was into architecture, into engineering. Oh yeah, that seems nice. Okay, Lorraine, do electrical engineering. Sounds like you. Okay, never knew really what it was, but okay, I'm gonna do engineering. I'm gonna do electrical engineering because it has math in it. Um, can I tell you the worst years of my life? The absolute worst years of my life. Was not happy. Did not like it. Even had a professor say to me, "Lorraine, why are you here?" And I'm like, because I can't be at home doing nothing, so I gotta be in school, And I was like, I don't really know what I want to do. And it wasn't until later when I was out of school and my sister hooked me up with a friend of hers who worked at Harvard Upward Bound, and she had a conversation. She was like, Lorraine, you need to go back to school, even if you do basket weaving. What do you want to do? And I said, and I didn't even really know where this came from. I said, well, even though I'm an introvert, I'm thinking, I like working with people. I want to work with people. And she says, what exactly? I said, I don't know. I said, I just want to do something with people. And that was my road to going to a different school. I transferred, went to a different school, did psychology. Then when I graduated college, she says, okay, you need to get a master's. I said, what? I got to go more schooling? Yeah, you need a master's. You can't do nothing with that bachelor's. Okay, especially if you're doing psychology. So got my master's. That opened up the doors.
Nice. So you got your master's in psychology, and from there, you went on to the workforce, correct?
Correct. I worked at before I got my job at the college. I went back to what I knew, math. So I taught math actually in Cambridge at one of the community learning centers. I did math for about a year. Was interviewing though for a full-time job. Got a job at Bentley College as a. It's been so long. My God, how long has it been? A minority liaison and a psychotherapist. So I did that. I worked at Bentley College for 7 years. And that was just absolutely great. That's when I came into my own. Well, I loved working with the students. I loved one-on-one. I loved counseling. That's where I also did group counseling. Loved it. Absolutely. That's where I loved it.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
So you went on and you did counseling at Bentley. So pastoring wasn't the thing that you wanted to do all of your life. It didn't.
Let me be, if I'm really honest,
Mm-hmm.
no. No. It was when though, and I know this is gonna sound kind of strange for some people. I was in when I was in high school, my senior year. Um, Graduation was supposed to be like say a Tuesday night. Can't remember exactly what night it's supposed to be. They canceled it because it was supposed to be outdoors, and they said it's going to be raining. So we're going to cancel it till the next night. No rain came, and so I said, "Well, what am I going to do?" I knew going to church. Let me go to church. Um, we're part of, we're part of a group of other churches and denomination. So the we call the district was having like revivals. Used to have revivals back in the day, and so I said, "Well, Lorraine, you might as well go to church." I was, one who went to church. So I went to church that night, and it was happened to be at our church. I remember where I was sitting, and it was just like the person was preaching, but I really wasn't hearing him. I was like, "It's not raining. Why am I not at my graduation?" But anyways, it was like I heard this voice saying, you know, "You're gonna speak for me, calling you to speak." And I'm like, "Lorraine," I heard like, "Am I losing it? Like, I must be." I'm like, "Oh, okay, Lorraine, you flipping out here." That's when it started, but I never said nothing to anyone because I just thought I was just like losing it. Um, but I went home and I did. I went in the Bible and I was like, "What is this? What did I just?" And it reminded me of Jeremiah. So I went to the book of Jeremiah and I read about his call. I was like, it was like, it just resonated with me. It was just like, and it was like God was saying, "I'm calling you." But as I said, I put that on the back burner, never thought about it till probably, I thought about it when I was in college, when I was having a rough time, but my family wasn't hearing that at the time. So yeah, I didn't do nothing with it until, yeah, I was working at Bentley.
Nice. Okay. So I promise I'm going somewhere. I promise I'm going somewhere.
Okay. I trust you.
And so now, after you've been working at Bentley, you become a pastor. Was that it? Was that the end of your journey of the things that you were called to do or have done in your life?
No, because I really, as I said, the counseling, working with people really is my passion. Seeing people whole mentally. So during the pandemic, I went for my certification to study to be a life coach. So I'm a certified life coach. I have my own business. Even though I had my business before I did all this piece, I was doing it anyways. I did some studying about it, but became certified. So, because I really want to see people whole. I really want to see people emotionally well. And we don't talk about that a lot in the church. So I have my own life coaching business. I also do certified instructor to do mental health first aid training. So yeah, I'm really into the mental health. I'm really into the emotional well-being. That is my passion.
Nice. And I agree with you that there's not enough talk about mental health, but you see it in the Bible. Like you see moments of mental health that I think a lot about the scripture with Elijah and how we all know like he was such a great prophet, but then this man goes and hides in a cave and is having a breakdown like in the middle of this amazing thing that just happened, and he's going and he's having a breakdown. And to really be able to see that and break that down, and going through the series and looking at things from a mental health point of view, and the study that you did with us, and just really breaking down mental health in the Bible one time was really helpful for me, because I remember at that moment I was going through something similar, and I'm having a moment where, yes, I'm a worship leader and I sing and everything, so people will just see me up there worshiping and praising God and be like, "Oh, that's so great." But I go home and I'm like,
Yeah.
like want to
Yeah.
pull my hair out.
Yeah.
So to
And
be
you're
able
not
to
the
see
only
that.
one. You're not the only one. There are tons of people that are struggling, and no one tells them it's okay to sometimes not be okay. And especially, people of faith, because then we think that either we have a lack of faith, I don't trust God. Sometimes people are angry with God. Like even Job in the Bible when he was going through, we don't talk about, like even preach about Jesus when he was going through his moment in the garden. That was an emotional, uh, mental health struggle that he was experiencing that we don't talk about. And it's so real. People are suffering in silence in our churches. As you know, I preach a sermon about holes in the pews, and there are many holes that people have, but no one talks about that. Like, oh, I don't want no one to see my holes, but we do see them. We don't know. We don't want to name it. We don't want to call it. We don't know what to name it sometimes. But we see something is going on, and sometimes people can't get out of bed in the morning. Sometimes people are going through depressive state, anxiety, panic attacks, whatever, suicidal ideations. People just going through, and no one, not no one. We need to talk about it. We need to shed light on it, to normalize it, so that grief, so that people don't feel like they're, abnormal. It's like, no, you're normal. You're going through something psychologically, emotionally, which might be even causing you to be physically sick. And, but yet we don't talk about it, but it's good to have education. So let me not get started, because as you can see, that's my passion.
No, I'm right there with you, because even as you were talking and you brought up Jesus and the idea of like Jesus going through, and I know there's probably some people listening right now who are like, what, Jesus? No, not the perfect lamb, not the one who never sinned and never stumbled. But you think about it, and it talks about how Jesus went through the same things we go through. So if he knows all of our struggles, then of course he would be faced with a bout of depression. Of course he would be faced with grief. The shortest verse that everyone loves to quote, I know I loved to quote it when I was little because it was easier, was Jesus wept. That's grief. He was sad. His friend died. And so, but we don't think about those things from the human standpoint. So to be able to,
Yeah, because we just want to think of Jesus as being divine and not the human side. And I'm glad you mentioned that verse where Jesus, he's our high priest who's been touched with the feelings of our infirmities. All right, because he's gone through what, and so like Jesus, you've gone through, like you experienced. So, but we don't want to. No, Jesus could never have gone through anything emotionally. He could never have gone through anything mentally. Oh, he just gone through spiritual stuff. He just went through stuff, because of his faith in God. That's the only thing he went through. And I'm just like, come on, folks. He was human and divine, so he went through things emotionally, just like us.
yeah. All right, I'm going to keep going because I know myself, and I know it'll end up turning into a Bible study, and this is Good Morning Love. So I want to keep it from going that way.
Yes,
And but I want to, continue talking about in looking at all of these things. I'm gonna jump back a little bit, and that's why I was like, I'm going somewhere, because I think your story, I've heard a bit of your story just being at church, because you're always somebody who's real, and I love that. And I love that you share from your personal experience, because that's how we can reach each other, is by being human and being vulnerable. So you've always been very good at sharing what you need to share when you need to share it. But in looking at everything that you were saying right now, there's like a running theme that goes from your childhood. So even though it took you up until post college almost to realize, hey, I like, working with people and helping them understand, and, being a coach and being a pastor, which is like a form of coaching, and all these different things. If you look back at what you liked to do when you were a child, you loved puzzles, you loved mystery books. And if you look at that, it's a matter of taking the pieces and making the pieces whole.
That's
And
good. Come on now.
yeah, you see? And so and so it was always there, and it was always inside of you, the things that you were going to do later. But sometimes, as you're saying, because of the messages that we're taught or the way society is set up, it's made that life is supposed to be ABC. But there, it's like, no, all of the pieces are in the box. Like everything of who we are, who we're supposed to be, who we were created to be, like we have everything that we need inside of us from birth already. And we can get glimpses of it, but you know, we need help over time putting that together to really have the whole picture come forth and the whole masterpiece. So even for you, like I like looking at little things like that. Like that always sticks out. Like that's pretty cool that in now you are someone who helps the same way you had a friend be like, hey, maybe you should just try again. Like maybe you should look. And maybe you had someone walk with you and walk beside you to help really pull out the true Lorraine that was inside.
You know, and can I just say, go ahead, girl, that was good. That was good. I like that. You know, I never thought about my puzzles, doing puzzles back then when I was young, and reading my mysteries as tying together. Never saw it like how you just put it. And I'm sitting over here going, okay, Ariel, all right, Ariel, that was right on, because, and it's true, because when I do life my coaching and counseling, it is like taking different pieces of a person's life and helping them, walking with them, especially in the coaching, coming alongside of them and walking with them to help, you know, put some pieces together that aren't coming together so that they can get to their goal. They can make it a whole puzzle. So that was, and I love mysteries, and I still love mysteries. I love kind of, you know, watching these, you know, TV shows where you got to figure out the whodunits and all this, and I love that, and be like, okay, yeah. If it doesn't, and some people are like, you don't watch comedies? I do watch some comedies, but if it don't have nothing to it where I have to figure it out and be trying, I'm like, oh no, that's not good. I ain't watching that. But thank you for that. I really appreciate what you just said. You just did something for me, like, and people need to hear that we need sometimes people to come alongside us, but also that even things that going on in our childhood are there some ways as a signal, but we don't recognize it, and other people didn't recognize it either, as a signal sometimes of our future self or our real self in some way.
Yeah. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, this is really, it's good conversation, Ariel. I like it.
So let's talk a little bit more about you are a woman of a lot of firsts, and at least I believe you're a woman of a lot of firsts. You've done a lot of pretty cool things. If we could talk about a few of the things that you do outside of a church setting, outside of a counseling setting, that are pretty cool. So you work with, in Cambridge, a lot of you work with the police department. That's correct?
Yeah.
Wow. And so can you tell us about what you do with the Cambridge Police Department?
I'm one of the chaplains for the Cambridge Police Department. When they started up, how long now? It's been a few years. It's myself and a couple of others. Right now, though, I took basically a little bit of a leave. I took a step back sabbatical. Just some personal things happened in my life last year, so I needed to really focus on me. And so I took a step back. So being the first in that, even the first woman pastor of the church. So I know you said outside of the church first, but my firsts are all in some ways. I'm trying to think, what was I the first in? First woman president of the Cambridge Black Pastors Alliance. So yeah, so those I'm trying to think of what else. As I say, I'm getting older, Ariel, so I don't remember these first as I used to.
No, that's okay. I wanted you to point those out because it's not just Love Month, but it's Black History Month. And at least for me, with Black history, it's always pointing out like the really, really, really old stuff. But every day we make history, and every day there's something going on, and there's always a chance for like new firsts to be done because time's not up yet. Like we're
Yeah,
still on
yeah,
earth and there's still so much that needs to be done. So I wanted to point that out because even though yes, we're in the year 2023 and you know, it's kind of made to seem like we tell the same stories over and over and
yeah,
over again,
yeah,
our history is still being made.
yeah.
And so thank you for being a part of our history. Like
Oh,
it
thank
may
you.
not seem, I know that sometimes in our own lives, like within ourselves, it's like, well, this is just what I do. But you are a part of our history. You're a part of that. So being the first to do something that a lot of people probably wouldn't even, I would have never known that the police even have a chaplain. Like, what? Like, they have chaplains? That's a thing? But to be a part of that and to be a part of something that is revolutionary because everyone who knows me knows like I'm big on talking about justice and the faith, and I'm not going to go down that road and rehash it, but it's very important that we
Hmm.
remember that they
Hmm.
go hand in hand.
They
And
do.
so to see you walking like what we talk and what we say, like for real. And I would say, I don't want to say the phrase like putting your money where your mouth is, but like that's what it is. Like, you know, doing what you say. You say you stand for justice. If we stand for justice, we need to be a part of the change
Yeah,
in the
I
justice
agree.
system.
I agree.
And so, how better to be a part of the change than to be there? And you know,
Yeah.
it's important. So to be a part of these different things, and I'm really being on the ground, and especially I know that right now you've taken a step back in a sabbatical, but to be a part of it in this time where there's just such
Mm,
tension.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think you bring up a good point about the justice, and especially as people of faith, we don't talk about justice enough. We talk about what the kingdom of God is, his throne, the basis is righteousness and justice, equity. And yeah, this doesn't mean, and I think I've learned over the years, doesn't mean you're always going to agree with everybody, um, what they're doing, but there needs to treat everybody still with respect and honor, and that everybody, no matter who they are, receives justice. Everybody. And that is something, and I have been privileged to be a part of this Cambridge Police Department. I know they're going through some stuff right now, but I've seen some of the inner works. I've seen what they do, and it's like, and I think sometimes people need to actually go through some of their trainings, go through what they're getting to kind of get a different picture, a different perspective. Which, I'll be honest, before I went through some of the trainings, I had my views too, and can't go there today and everything. You know, um, but doesn't say everything is perfect. Doesn't mean that they are perfect. But I must give it to even the new commissioner, giving her a shout out, Commissioner Christine Elo. I know she's about reform and wanting to do things differently as a police department. But it's not always easy to change a culture. And that's what, and people think it's just easy, and just change just do this, but it's not always easy. And even looking at church culture, in our world, in our society, it's not easy to change a culture. Okay. Even myself, I'm a pastor. People don't see that when I walk into a store, and at times when I'm not dressed in my finest and I got a hoodie on, and I've been followed in the store. I was like, what the world? And I was like, they're following me. They're actually following me. I want to turn around and say, I ain't about to rob you. I ain't about to do nothing to you. On my other life, I'm a pastor, but they don't care. They just see, a hoodie, a black person, especially if you have your mask on. And then when I've gone and I've seen people look at me because my glasses, have transitioned. So if I come from the sun and go in, they'll still be dark. Then when I got the mask on and I have my hoodie, oh Lord, it's like, what she come to do? What she come to do? You know, and it still boils my blood. And we're still dealing with injustice. And, throughout our world, there's still injustice. And it's not just in a police department, there's injustice. And we have to speak to it, the injustice, and not keep silent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are going to switch gears a little bit. And because, again, we're talking about, love, and it's Love Month and showing love, what are 5 things, other than your family and puzzles and mystery books, what are 5 things that you love?
5? I gotta give 5 things, and I can't name any of those other things. Oh,
no.
Wow. I love helping people to become whole. I love Hawaii. I love traveling. I love good restaurants. I gotta give you one more, huh?
You want me to give you one? Because I'm surprised you
What?
love sports.
Oh, yeah. See, you gotta help me. I'm getting older, Ariel. I'm getting older.
We're here for each other. I
totally forgot. I do. I totally forgot that.
You know what it is? It's because the Super Bowl is over. And so, now it's it's break season until next season. That's what it is. That's all it is.
Yeah, but no, I gotta give a shout out. I love my Celtics. I'm a Boston person. I'm a Bostonian. I'm a homer. I'm a homie. I love my Boston teams, my Celtics, my Patriots, even when they don't do right. And I love my Red Sox, even when they definitely don't do right. And I even love hockey and my Bruins. And I love my Boston sports teams.
Yes, the Boston sports teams. We have great teams. Except the Revolutions, because nobody talks about them.
I'm still learning soccer, and I watch it at times, and I forget the New England, the Revolution team. Forgive me if any one of them are listening. I'm not trying to. I'm just, I forget them. I watch, try to get into the World Cup, that. But regular soccer, I'm still trying to figure out, how do they add more time? Isn't it but now they added more time? What's going on here? So I'm still learning soccer. I love tennis also. I love tennis. I love watching tennis matches. Love it.
Tennis is good.
Yeah, because I've always wanted to. It's on my bucket list is to get to a U.S. Open. I wanted to get while Serena was still playing. Didn't get a chance, but I want to go to either U.S. Open, Australian Open. One of those. I want to go to a national tennis match.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. Because I would have never known that you would want to go to a Open.
Yeah, I just love it. I just think it's, just the vibe and everything. And, either I said, well, New York is right there. When they come to New York sometime, but that's on my bucket list.
Yeah. So have you gotten into, what's the other one? Pickleball?
No, I've seen it. And I'm still okay. And I met someone who does it, says, oh, I'm into pick. I'm like, you are? Okay. So I've not played it. I don't know if you have, but I've not played it. I've seen it on TV and I watched it and I was like, okay, this is interesting.
No, I haven't played pickleball. I've watched it a little bit because I was trying to figure out why the court was so short and all the different things. I was like, this isn't tennis, but it is. It's kind of interesting that it's picking up now and becoming more of like a real popular sport. But I enjoy in talking about, like, not the average things. Like, I like curling. I love the U.S.
Oh,
Olympics, and I
yeah.
love curling.
Yeah. I
So
like that too.
when I look at the team, and sometimes like my brother and I will act like we're like playing curling with the broom, like just have fun. So different things that you don't know about people. So having a moment of sharing like the things you don't get to talk about
Okay.
on
All
a
right.
day to day.
Ariel Chanel Curl. I'm gonna call you Curler. Curler.
Yeah, curling is
Curler.
it's my favorite Olympic sport, Winter Olympic sport. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so talking about the things that we enjoy and that we love, and being able to see that we are real people and
Yeah.
we love real things,
We
and
do. I do.
that's that.
And I thank you for saying, that, yeah, that's my title, pastor, but I'm more than just a pastor. And I think people forget that. So I really enjoyed this conversation today. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. See, I knew it would be good. It'd be a good one. Didn't have to worry. So, before we end and before we close, if you could go back to young Lorraine, the introvert, reading her mystery books and her puzzles, and you could say anything to her, what would you say?
And I'm always asking when I interview people, I'm always asking the same question. Um, I would go back and tell young Lorraine, it's okay to be you, the real you. Um, it's okay. That you don't have to be scared to be you, even though you don't really understand you at that time. It's okay to be an introvert. It's okay to be by yourself at times. It's okay, because that has allowed me to explore the world. Because I've traveled some places by myself. You know, I was on a plane, went to China, met up with some friends there, but went by myself at first. Australia, went some places by myself, went to Hawaii a few times by myself. And it's okay. And it's not just because I'm alone doesn't mean I'm lonely. And sometimes for people, it's scary, especially as an introvert. And so I just want to just give a shout out to introverts and a shout out to my young Lorraine introverted self, that it's okay, Lorraine. And you're going to come into your own. Don't have to rush it, push it, try to be like somebody else, try to fit in so people would like you, try to change yourself so so people can say, oh, what's wrong with Lorraine? She doesn't talk much. No, just be Lorraine. It's okay to be you.
Nice. Shout out to all the introverts out there.
Yeah. Woo!
Be you. Be who you
You.
are. Especially in this, and I'm glad you said that. Thank you for saying that. Be you. And if you're an introvert, it's okay. Because in this generation, everything is about, having to be in the forefront and put all your business out there and learn all the TikTok dances and, be on all the trends. But if that's not who you are, that's okay. There is place for you in this world. You're here for a reason. So don't have to get on, what everyone else is doing, because there's already 1,000 everyone else's.
Yeah.
But there's only one you in this world. So be you. Yeah.
Be you. Be you and do you.
That's it. That's it. Well, that is all that I am going to ask of you today.
Oh, thank
today.
You. Thank you.
But it's always a pleasure talking with you. I always enjoy when we get to just laugh and joke and chop it up. And Even when you get to tell me like, Ariel, don't do that. And like all of those moments, it's very helpful.
So I just say Ariel. I just give you the Ariel.
Yep. Yeah. It's very helpful. Very helpful for me in my journey and continuing to become who I am and being me and being able to look back at young Ariel and be like, it's okay. Like, be you, be who you are. So I thank you. I thank you for taking time out of your day to come and spend it here on the podcast. I thank you that you are always a light to so many, but especially to me. And I thank you. And I just pray that as you continue to go on and do the things that you do, that the love that you pour out and all of the things that you give will be poured back into you. I pray that you have many more vacations and you get to go back to Hawaii and do all the different things, because everything that you may be worried about or trying to figure out, it's already taken care of, already handled, so you don't have to worry about it. So I pray that you just have more fun in these next many years of your life, and that people will see the fun that you're having and remember that it's okay to have fun. And so that is my prayer for you.
Thank you. I receive it, and right back at you.
Yes. All right, everyone. Well, that is all for this episode. Again, we'll be back next week with one more guest for Love Month, because February is not done yet. It may be the shortest month, but it has all its Mondays. So we'll be here. We'll be back with another episode, and I can't wait to speak with you all again. Talk to you. Bye. That's all for now on Good Morning Love. You can continue talking with me on Instagram at Ariel Chanel or on Facebook at Ariel Chanel Music. Let me know what you think. And until next time, remember, always wake up with love.